to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy. We're excited you're here. And now, let's get to the show.
Hello! Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. I'm Bethany. This is Sparky.
Episode
184. Woo! Okay, guys, you can submit your questions through direct message. You can also, for our YouTubers, you can just comment, and we'll pick them up if they're any good.
If we're reading your question and we're answering it, and you have a follow-up question to the question,
please
ask it in the chat. We'd much rather talk to you guys when we're kind of going back and forth. It just feels so much more real, and we love that.
And we will prioritize you, like if you're here and live. And look, TikTok is here. I told you.
It was a rough 14 hours without it.
Yes. Are you guys okay?
Safe?
There really should be like a call line for free therapy.
I'll tell you what though, that remineralizing gum, I bought so much of that stuff right like the day before TikTok went out. It was for like 98% off.
Well, I'll check in with your teeth in a few weeks and see how you're doing. Okay, I'm gonna start with a long question. But, I need to bring up mine, too. That way I can see you guys. So I've got Instagram, you've got TikTok.
I don't have a phone.
You don't have a phone?
Is this the phone? Did
you
give me this phone for TikTok? No, I don't think I have a phone.
So
we're down one of our tech people, so we're down a phone.
You can still ask questions, though. It's just easier if
we'll just read it off the chat.
Sparky's good at leaning in.
Oh, no, not the lean in. No, you're like way in. Me too. I mean, that's what we got.
That's the lean.
Okay.
That's kind of creepy.
Are you ready?
No.
8-week-old. Oh, we already got a question. I'll look at you in a minute. 8-week-old puppy crate training question. Get ready. Flex your muscles. Raquel, I've been religiously watching your TikToks. I'm starting to train my 8-week-old Yorkie poo. I like Yorkie poos.
Little guy, 3 pounds.
Oh my goodness. I brought home 2 days ago. Pretty good in playpen during the day. Sleeps well in her travel case while in cars or without pressure. However, at night, she's getting anxious, she's clinging to me. She doesn't even want to play. She just wants to sleep on me. Is it creating a bad habit if I allow her to bond with me for the first week and transfer her to her crate once she's sleeping? Yeah, it works really well with babies. I'm sure it'll work great for your Yorkie poo. I have been having her sleep in the travel. I don't know babies.
Well, was that sarcasm?
That was sarcasm for me and my baby. Oh. I have been having her sleep in the travel case that's inside of her larger crate until she gets a little bigger. That's a great idea.
Yeah, actually, I haven't heard of that too often. That's smart.
It's a good idea.
Smaller area and she's already comfortable with it.
Yeah, but go ahead. Is it okay for her to sleep on top of her? Once she falls asleep, she's going to try to transfer her into the crate. I have a feeling it's going to be like when I lay Evie down. I mean, Evie used to sleep great in the crib, and then she hit 8.5 months old, and the crib is evil. And so what would happen is I could carry her around, I could probably throw her in the air, and she'd be asleep. As soon as I lean down, eyes pop open wide. And then I lean back up, and eyes closed. And I lean down, and eyes pop open wide. I don't think you're going to be able to transfer your puppy into crate without having that anxiety cycle again. I'm not saying don't try it. I just don't think it's going to work. And so we're going to go over what to do if it doesn't work.
I thought I was answering the question.
That's why I just looked at you.
You just answered half of it.
No, I didn't. I just said that's probably not going to work in a longer, more interesting way.
She got to talk about her baby.
Okay.
It was interesting.
It was beautiful.
You weren't even listening. Can you just say what you want to say?
Yes. No. That's not.
I knew that's what
For puppies, yes, structure is very important. But honestly, I think the emotions of a puppy and like the mindset of your puppy is going to mean more than everything else. You can start with a really good structure schedule, but it means nothing if we're still giving too much affection and we're not balancing it.
You think the snuggling is bonding, but I'm afraid you are mistaken, madam.
Took my thunder.
I did? That moment. I'm so sorry. No, I'm really not. But go ahead. You can keep going. You can say it in your way. You can say it in your way.
I can't. You took my way. Yes, you're not going to be able to do that. You're actually building up separation anxiety without even realizing it. It's more about teaching your puppy what they're going to be doing over the next 6 months up to 15 years of their life, which is you're not going to want them sleeping on your chest to fall asleep. It creates a very strong emotional connection, but it doesn't have a balanced emotional connection. How we create emotional connections usually through training, and it's the easiest thing in the world. It could be you luring food back and forth. That's how you're going to want to bond with your puppy when you start doing like more training and like more like stricter sessions, longer sessions with her. Right now, all you're really looking for is you're doing very minimal amounts of training. You're teaching eye contact. You're teaching how to follow food for 1 or 2 steps up to like 5 steps. And then when your puppy's getting a little bit more tired, you can do a little dog bed. I think I'd probably do a playpen. Bethany's not a big fan of the playpen, but this is a really young puppy. It's a 3-pound puppy. That's honestly what playpens are built for. They're built for these really small guys. And I'd probably have her in the playpen on her little dog bed for another 10, 15 minutes. My puppies at this age are only getting about 25, 30 minutes of free time. That's actually all the time they can even be awake.
Well, you're
comfortably.
You're answering way more than her question.
I know, this is my jam.
But it's not, she just wants to know what to do about her clingy dog at night to go and crate.
So you're gonna put the dog in the playpen, you're going to put it on this little bed and it's going to hang out in there. And basically you're just going to teach it how to settle. When you do a little bit of walk and a little bit of play, you tackle the body and the brain. When you do training, you're mainly tackling the brain. The whole point of that playpen in the crate is you have to tire out your puppy in an effective way that makes them want to sleep eventually. So if I have an amped up physical puppy, an amped up mental puppy, as in they're mentally overstimulated, physically overstimulated, they're going to have a really tough time settling, and it's going to feel like the only way to get them to settle is to put them on your chest and hold them there. The other option is to train them to settle them and then do playpen, what we call supervised separation.
To build confidence, self-confidence, independent confidence. That way they don't become very needy and have separation anxiety.
Through supervised separation. And that's basically just using a playpen. It's teaching your dog to exist by you without having access to you. So right now, all of our dogs feel like they always have to be biased because they're coming from their litter, they're coming from their litter mates, and most time those guys are very close together. They stay in a tight pack. We're teaching them how to build confidence, independence, and eventually the ability to self-soothe. All that's going to come from supervised separation after you covered their mental and physical needs and you know that they have the ability to settle.
I mean, what he's saying is all of your issues don't have anything to do with crate at night, has everything to do with being see, you took my thunder.
I know.
So I'm just trying to make me feel
good.
Is your emotional connection with the dog. It's too emotional right now instead of through leadership. I have so many thoughts in my head that I want to tell you about dog psychology, but I just can't on this type of program. Feel free to check out our online school where you can talk to us one-on-one and get us for much bigger chunks of time to really flesh out these ideas.
You'd probably get a 40-minute conversation for that.
Ashley Nicole says, 7-month-old Aussiedoodle, what is the best way to stop counter surfing? She's so tall, she can easily reach the countertops. For me,
yeah, that's 7 months old. That's a pushier dog,
adolescent dog.
That's definitely not our previous question, so I'm very sure this could change the advice significantly.
Honestly, the short version, 7-month-old dog can be corrected. Find a way to set them up and correct it, but that's not enough. You also need to make sure you've trained the dog what to do instead. And for me, that's going to be way more management, way more monitoring for a 7-month-old dog. If they are even able to do this in the first place, that tells me, no offense,
freedom is earned.
They've had too much freedom in the house. Yeah, freedom is earned. And honestly, 7-month-old Aussiedoodle, they tend to not really be ready for freedom unless you have done crazy diligent work from the beginning on boundaries, respect in the home, and thresholds and all of that stuff, and not petting every single time they come up to you. It takes so much work to have an adolescent that can have freedom in the home. And then even then, their temperament may be too go and confident for it. So with all of that being said, find a way to correct it and nip it in the bud. Don't say no, don't make a big deal about it. Just find a way to correct it when it happens on the setup, but then on the back end, you need to be working on what that dog should be doing in the meantime.
We have 90 dogs in this program, and I would say maybe 4 to 6 of them in the entire program have the mental maturity at 7 months to be able to exist around the house without a leash on, without some like strict focus from the owners. And that's very low percentage.
Agreed.
There's a follow-up question from TikTok on that.
Yeah,
what would be an example of a correction for a counter surfing?
To be honest, that's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's really about what kind of program you've done.
I mean, if you go on Google, I mean, it'll tell you to attach some tin cans to a piece of string and they'll hit the floor and freak the dog out. So that's not my jam, but I'm just saying that it really depends on your comfort level what a correction might be. Could be a pet corrector, could be physical spatial blocking and moving into your dog, could be a leash, could be a scat. I mean, it could be a number
There's so many different
ways.
Techniques and different ways.
Okay. Paris Baker, great question though. Paris Baker, 7-month-old Staffie, intact.
Staffie.
I just see a big set of whatever's in my head now. Thank you. Tips on how to get him to chill around other dogs. I keep him on leash and he whines and cries and he doesn't listen. He constantly wants to play. Okay, so here's the thing about intact dogs in my experience. They can be more intense, but honestly, Staffies are just intense in general, so it may have nothing to do with the
Yeah, they're just a very, very, very strongly driven breed to play.
What I would worry about is more everybody else's reactions to his That tends to be when dogs get into trouble because other males have an issue with the cojones and females, depending on where they are in their cycle, will be more nervy and more quicker to be reactive to a dog who
more snappy.
Yeah, who is acting like they want more in the relationship than just play.
And having a Staffie, as a current Staffie owner myself, you are always at fault. It doesn't matter who attacked your dog, doesn't matter if your dog attacked first, you're at fault. It's the thing of having a Staffie. You have to be the most overabundantly responsible pet owner of a Staffie. I personally wouldn't do any greetings on leash if I was you, and I'm saving you some time.
And here's the thing, well, we don't do on-leash greetings with any breed, anytime, anywhere, from the Chihuahua to the Great Dane.
But very specifically, a Staffie, I'd be extra careful with.
But, here's the big but. I keep him on leash, he whines and cries and doesn't listen. That's why you can't have him interact with other dogs. Has nothing to do with being a Staffie, except that you should be even more
just have to be more aware and we have to be more focused.
As you should. It's a breed that deserves more focus and more respect and all of that.
We need more responsibility.
So until your dog can listen to you, you shouldn't even be putting him in those situations unless you're actively training. My opinion, which is the truth. Okay, anyway, Brittany Wilbur
says my opinion. Truth. The truth.
My truth. It's not my truth. It's actually the universal truth. Brittany says, well, I hate the whole my truth thing. Brittany says, at what age well, the whole my truth is like my opinion. That's what it is. Okay. Brittany Wilbur says, at what age do you think a lab is full grown? At 1 year? I think so. I'm going to put this to you.
Female, about a year. 8 to 12 months, or 9 to 12 months. For male, a year to year and a half. So
and then they start growing wide.
Yeah, females get wide at about a year. Males get wide at about a year and a half, and I think it's because the testicles create more testosterone, which increases growth, like height. And it's when they get the testicles removed that it increases girth.
And bone density and all that other good stuff. I also just like to say, I mean, you're going to still see your dog fill out muscular-wise, and they're going to thicken up and everything. And I don't just necessarily mean fat-wise.
I want to dive a little bit deeper in that one just for a split second. If you have a female, it's best to, okay, let me say this. And again, this is my opinion. I'm not a health professional in the dog world. So in my opinion, from the research I've done and the vets I've spoken to, it is best to fix a female dog to spay them after their first heat cycle, or at least for them to have at least 1 or 2 or 3, but to wait at least the first one. The massive estrogen boost that they get creates a lot of bone calcification for them, and it actually prevents a good chunk of bone cancer. Like, it lowers their percentage of chances of getting it.
And what is one of the major issues we're having with dogs these days?
Cancer.
Early cancer, and everyone's like, why? Oh, I don't know.
And it's because we're feeding really good food, but there's also bad things in really good food. There's still fillers and legumes and all that kind of stuff.
What good food are we feeding them?
What good food am I feeding them?
No, well, you said we're feeding them good food.
I feel like a majority of people who come to our show probably feed their dog good food. I'm a dog health guy.
I don't think people still know what good versus.
Yeah, that's what I was like. You're opening up a whole new rabbit hole. We're gonna move on.
We're not even going.
We're gonna move on from that one because I actually disagree with you, and I don't think
so.
Yeah, and I don't
feeding good food?
No, they're definitely not. And no offense to
Anyone
you,
watching, throw the
No.
kibble. You throw whatever you feed your dog in. There's
Well,
no
first of all,
pressure.
Oh, you just said kibble. You just said kibble.
Throw whatever you feed your dog in
No,
the
no,
chat
but
if
that's
you
the
feel
problem.
comfortable to do so.
No, don't.
I just want to see. I want to
That's
see what the
problem.
majority of people.
You just said kibble.
Yeah.
Okay, it's because most people feed kibble.
Which
I do.
is my point.
Okay.
Okay,
I do
moving
feel
on. We're moving on.
If you feel comfortable throwing it in, I'm curious.
No, Zeke says.
Is that what they do?
Zeke, okay, we hope you do.
We hope you do.
Not really, because I don't want to make anybody angry, and that's not what this show is about today.
Oh, I'm not even going to comment on it. I'm just going to look at it. I just want to read it. Keep going.
You know, it's just been a weird day from this morning, and it's just continuing to be a weird day. So just be weird with us.
This feels fun. What do you
This
mean?
is not fun. It's weird.
Is it
Just
conflict? Is it conflict? It
It's
feels kind of
very
fun.
conflicting. There's been lots of not conflict. I mean, like conflict out into the social media world. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna move on.
I'm enjoying this. I think we're having fun.
Zeke says, "I'm glad you." Yeah, because you enjoy that kind of stuff.
I'm having fun.
Zeke says, Can I ask a question?" Yes, Zeke, you can. You can ask a question.
We're like, please, God, ask a question.
Please, God. 13-week-old Frenchie puppy. And she literally screams. Well, yeah, that's what they do. They sound like pterodactyls.
They do.
And babies, they sound like babies. Because I tell you what, whenever we have them here and I hear them screaming, I'm like, I get this mom thing going ever since having Evie. Yeah, you get that too?
No.
You get that too?
We had a
That
client.
postpartum need to help the...
Don't make me tell this story, Bethany. It's not going to go good for us.
Okay, at night, when it's bedtime, she only cries for a second. But when it's the daytime, she's really, really wild. Well, Zeke, my question would be, are you teaching her a calm and crate routine where you've taught her to go in, settle? 13-week-old should be, let's go, how we call it house, crate, kennel up, whatever you want to say, down, pause, and close the door. When you open the door, they stay in there down, they wait for permission to come out. 13-week-old puppy can do that, piece of cake. So that's going to be one of the first things that you need to be working on, is that boundary. Do you
Also
understand
think
that?
about, if you're only putting them in there to go into the crate for an hour and a half, they're going to create an association of they're going to be there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Try bringing them out of the crate at the end of their or at the end of their crate window, on leash,
Yeah, all
take
this
them out
is
for their potty.
on leash.
If you're worried about potty, get them out there right away. If you're not and they're good at holding it, have them come out of the crate and then go back in for food. Have them come out of the crate, go back in for food. Do like house to place pattern where you're going in and out for reward, and then give them their hour of free time. So you reward them after with being out of the crate. Sometimes the association is, I don't want to go in the crate because I'm going to be there for 2 hours. You're giving a different world for them.
I have to say though, this breed can be
Right.
very
Frenchie.
pushy, but I've seen them have a lot of anxiety that always turns to aggression. Not to stereotype the breed, but that's just what we see all the time.
I feel it starts as dominance, and when they
Anxiety.
feel like, well, let me go down my path. I feel like it starts as dominance, but when they realize they're not the biggest dog, that they can't actually keep up with these bigger dogs, I feel it turns into anxiety, and then that becomes a lack of confidence that turns into aggression.
Well, I'm at anxiety with the crate. Like I've seen anxiety, like when we've seen it a lot here too. Anxiety in the crate with a Frenchie turns to snappy, pushy behavior, frustration, and then that turns to, in 3 to 5 months later, it turns into a bite of
About
some
8
sort.
to 10 months old.
Yeah, so definitely get some one-on-one help and get on top of being able to slow him down and making sure you're also teaching those rules and boundaries outside of crate as well to help him be a calmer dog.
Have a leash on him too when he's out of the crate. It gives you more control. If you try to pick him up when he's sleeping, that's when you'll start getting those turns and nips.
Yeah.
You want to prevent that by using the leash.
Which leads me to B. Hi B. 20-week-old. Okay, so I really resonate with this because I still have cuts all over my hand from a dog, German Short-haired Pointer, 12 weeks old, that I recently worked with. Razor sharp teeth and the bloodhound. No, not a bloodhound. Another hunting dog we have here. What is it with these hunting dogs and the razor sharp teeth? A puncture right there. All right, 20-week-old English Springer Spaniel. When do these sharp teeth fall out? They're so sharp, but that's not really the problem though, is it? The problem is she's still biting, chewing socks, chewing furniture. She's 20 weeks old. She should always be on a leash when she comes out of crate. You should always be on top. Like, how is she even getting stock, you know, so she should always be on leash. I would have a blocked off area. When I was working with that GSP, I had the living room blocked off, and luckily a small gated area. It was easy to gate off in the kitchen, so she could have a pretty decent amount of space for her playpen, supervised separation. She would still find some things to get into, but I was right there, and I was able to circumvent it pretty easily, pretty quickly. She was dragged around the leash. Yes, she chewed on it sometimes. It was just a cheap leash. I'd re-knot. I was able to do pressure up, move her away, remind her what she could chew. Honestly, if she's super driven, she needs a training session. She's telling you she needs not just a training session, but she needs more challenges. She needs more of what not to do, not what just to do. And so there's that aspect to it. And the other easier part is that the bedrooms, they're closed. And the living room, that's closed until I need to go to the back door for potty. It's all blocked off. And even if she is in those areas, it's on leash with me. I have food and we're training. And so hopefully that circumvents a lot of your problems till you get over that hump. Do you have anything to add?
I got a saying that's similar to what you pet is what you get. If you're chasing no's, you want to look for goods. So if you're always chasing your puppy yelling no, trying to catch them, you're always chasing issues, you're chasing problems. You're a reaction to their action. You want to search for goods by already having them on leash, already having relatively near you, having a pouch of kibble already on your hip. And if my puppy's out of the crate, I have something that I'm doing with them. If there's ever a point where there's not something to do with them, they're either in a playpen in my line of sight, or they're in the crate. If we don't have time to work with them, put them in the crate. They actually benefit more from the sleep they get and recuperation for the next free time window.
Okay. Charlie says, 9-month-old, so adolescent dog, golden retriever, laying down either on the floor or my bed, and I touch her back end and tell her to move. She growls. She's showing teeth and snapping and lunging at me. So you need to get one-on-one help right away. And just the easy question, why is a dog that's growling on you on your bed? And that should be like the first 5 questions that a trainer that you hire to come into your home and help you with this asks you as well. And it's not to be mean, maybe a little, but no, it's not to be mean. It's to get you thinking. This is not a stuffed animal. It's not a baby. It's not a child. It is an apex predator. And so, yes, you could do this with another dog and they would never get territorial. They would never get aggressive. But a lot of them do, because you're accidentally putting them in a position to do it. Now she's gotten all guardy of her space and she thinks she can get away with it. So she's starting to do it on the floor. Then it'll be around the couch, then her dog bed, then her play bones, it's going to snowball if you don't get intervention right away. In the meantime, stop doing it. She needs to be dragging a leash and you need to have food on you to help move her through this emotion until you can get someone to help you a little bit more in depth.
Eliminate all human surfaces. Couch, chairs, bed, everything.
Yeah. And I know you said floor too. We did hear you, but it's just a precursor to all of these other things. That's why it's like, this is just to manage it in the meantime until you get one-on-one help ASAP. A 9-month-old that's doing this, it's going to be a little bit genetic that I'm sure you didn't sign up for, that you did not expect, and I do understand that. But
better to reach out to a trainer now. Don't try to do it yourself unless you're already an experienced dog owner who's worked on this particular issue with a previous dog. If you don't have that knowledge and the time it takes you to get a trainer in a couple months, you might have to give the dog away.
Well, I think
start working with him now with a trainer.
The difference right now also could possibly be, here's $1,000 for a handful of lessons versus here's $5,000 for a full board and train, or we can't keep the dog. That's from a time perspective, whether you do it now or 3 to 6 months from now. That's also something to consider because things get worse, they don't go away. Okay, guys, let's see if I can squeeze in a short one. No, that's not a short one. Not short. Let's see. I think we're good. Do we have?
Is there a short question that exists for you guys?
Yay!
They're called yes or no's.
Oh, I have one. Emma says, how do you teach a puppy to hold their pee for longer durations? 16-week-old Dachshund. You crate train and you slowly build up like a week of no accidents or only like one accident. Hour and a half in crate goes to hour and 20 or 2 hours. Like you just slowly build the crate time. Being free with you and being in playpen does not build the ability to hold pee, especially in females. Something to add?
I would also I always like to look up the breed that I have and how they do in crate.
Dachshund.
I know. I would also check out the breed that you have and check out how they do in crate and how their potty training usually goes. Sometimes you can find some genetic things about the dog that applies to really all of like the
Are you trying
dachshunds
to tell her something about dachshunds?
Yeah, I think you should
get
look
to
it
it.
up. Look it up.
Just get to it.
They can take
Google
our free masterclass.
Dachshunds in the crate, and they tend to have a few issues with potty training that's just kind of natural to the breed. So I just do some research on them, and we do have a free masterclass for potty training that we also offer. So just check it out. I don't want to give you the answer because it's so long. I want you to just take some time to research it if you have any interest to do so.
All right, everyone. That's it. Actually, no. I really wanted to do this too, but we gotta go. And we will see you same time,
This
same
was a
place.
weird episode.
It was so weird,
It was
but
so weird.
thank you for hanging in there with us.
What were you gonna say now? I'm
it can't be the
curious.
same every week.
What perfection. Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.